Good evening and welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host here, and we are here to fight CPS from taking our children, Trying to adjust the light here. I want to welcome, I want to give a warm welcome to all of you that come here because you found me on Facebook fighting CPS. And I've been doing it for about 15 years. I have a co-host who is Danielle, and she'll be right with us. She has to make a phone call to her son. And anyway, this is a live podcast, and we're on 7 days a week, twice a day. And I'm trying to adjust my pictures so the sun doesn't be too bright on me. The podcast is Monday through Sunday, twice a day. It's live at usually 10 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock at night. Now, I'm starting 2 hours earlier because I got an engagement with my son who's getting a special award at a high school thing there. So I'm doing this a little bit ahead of time here. But I'm on here normally at 7, but tonight I'm on here at 5. And then on the mornings, it's at 10 o'clock, except on Sunday, I come on at 8 o'clock on Sunday. Every other day, it's 10 o'clock. Also, this Thursday, a heads up, I'll be televising live at 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Because my son has the prom on Thursday at 7. So I'll be coming on today at 5 and Thursday at 5. So I want to welcome, and I know what you're going through. CPS is a terrible experience you guys are all experiencing. I don't know how to phrase it, but it's your worst nightmare that you're working up to. I had a CPS case, and Danielle's has a CPS case. Mine's lasted 3 years. I've been fighting CPS for 14 years. And it's really sad because they do take your children. They traffic your children. They put them into foster care, and they do abuse your children. It's all strictly for the money thing. All their interest is getting money. The federal government pays the state in turn pays the county. And when someone alleges child neglect or child abuse, they're supposed to investigate within 24 hours, start the investigation. And then they'll determine if the child is extreme danger. If the child is extremely danger, they're going to take your child. But there's procedures they have to. And not all cases the child is extreme danger. Lately, they've been saying in every case is extreme danger. Now, I want you all to know that I'm a caring, loving husband and a father. And I really care about you guys. And I want to share with you things that may help you. So right now I want to go over how to interact with this podcast. Let me put the message here. Okay. To interact with this podcast is one way you could do is type in comments to me. Comments. And when you type in a comment, it's got to be about CPS, something to do with CPS. Please show your name, your city, state, or country, and be very complete with your CPS case. So it's less bouncing back and forth, and I'll try to help you. There's got to be a solution to every case. Now, oh, there you are, Danielle. Welcome.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, this is Danielle. She's my cohort. She's been AWL for a couple of shows, but I'm glad she's here. And
Yeah,
I hope you're okay and welcome, Danielle.
yeah, just
I'm going over the
handling stuff
ground
from this.
rules. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going over the ground rules and going over the one way is to do comments. And I was just telling that, we also have countries that have asked us CPS questions.
Okay.
And the countries that so far have called in have been the Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Ghana in South America, north of Brazil, south of Venezuela, and then we have Mexico, and then we have a country in Africa called Mozambique, near Somalia on the east side of Africa, and then Denmark. Those are the countries that have been interested to hear their comments. Danielle was present when a person from the United Kingdom called and talked about how horrible it was in Wales and England about CPS
It's everywhere.
cases. Yeah, so it's everywhere. You guys are encountering. And what I think has happened is that they've let greed get to them.
Right.
As I told you earlier, it was a $50 billion business. They make $20,000 over your child every month. They're paid by the state, and the federal government's where gives the money to the state, and the state in turn gives it to the county. And that's how the money is. But there's no watchdog over the money. In fact, one of my avid listeners here, Kay from Richmond, Kentucky, said they were doing an investigation, and there's it's $140,000 is missing. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That is.
So hopefully you guys would text in a comment. I'd love to hear from you. A second way that you guys can interact with the podcast is call in. And all you have to do is call in to Bob Pace at 626 698 0990. That's my office phone. It's only on during my show times. It's not on during my after show times. So right now, if you call in, I can put you live on the phone. And that's 626 698 0990. I gotta find where my phone is. Okay. Oh, I heard it. Oh boy. I got a bright sun out there. That's why
I'm doing this.
Yeah. Got it right here.
Oh.
There you guys got it. There's the phone. Well, it's probably too close, maybe. There it is.
I see it.
So there's my phone. So I will put you live on the show here. I started a little bit earlier so that I could go to my son's special awards tonight. So I won't be going quite to 6 o'clock. So that's a second way you can interact. Now, a third way is to email my producer. I have this great producer that works behind the scene, that does a lot for my podcast, makes my life a little bit better, and helps guests get on the show. All you have to do is email Grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com. And when you email her, just tell her that you want to be on Bob's show on Wednesday morning, or I want to be on Bob's show on Saturday evening. You just pick the evening time and you pick the day, and she'll take care of the rest. She'll tell you how to get on and give you the link and everything. We're broadcasting on YouTube. We're using the StreamYard as the application. So it has many as 6 people on it at one time. So feel free. If there's 2 of you guests, I can have 2 of you and Danielle meet. That'd be 4 of us. So that is great. So that's the number to call in. And then you email Grace if you want to schedule a time. And you don't have to be on camera when you scheduled time. Now, when you call in, you won't be on camera. You just be on my speakerphone on the phone. So text a comment. We don't bite. We love comments, and or you can call in at my phone number, or you can schedule a time. So there's three ways you can interact with the podcast. So we'd love to help you. We love, a lot of times Danielle's helping by looking things up, and
Mm-hmm.
she's helping so I can keep the show still going on instead of taking a time out to look things up. So that helps. But we have a lot of new information every day. Every week we're finding new stuff. This past week we found out that a lady named Carol from Indiana is helping
Mm-hmm.
people with legal problems. And she says that in the CPS cases, that the county has to report the case to the state, and they report it
Yes.
using the number. So you need
Yes,
to
they do.
contact the state's Department of Child of Family Adult Services to see if your case is on file. All you have to do is talk to the ombudsperson or the civil rights coordinator, which is the same thing, and give them the number of your case and ask them if it's on file. If it is not on file, then you got a chance to maybe get out of it altogether because the county doesn't have a case unless they file it with the state.
Right.
And I'm still studying that more. Have you learned anything more, Danielle, about that?
I have learned that that in some states they are supposed to report it because that's where the registry comes in at the child abuse and neglect registry. I know
Okay.
here in Georgia that they are supposed to that there are the county handles the investigation and stuff, but they do have to report the abuse and neglect, and then you get a case number, and that's where your case number comes from.
Okay, good.
When they open up the investigation. So that's where they're supposed to. It's a program called Georgia Score, and that's how they report it to the state here.
Okay.
So
And my
yeah,
attorney, Vincent Davis, is looking into it too because it's something new that he's heard about. And
yeah,
we're trying to
Georgia.
find out, if you call them, what do you say? How do you complain? I know that you can complain at the state level about the social worker, about the department, and you can complain to the judges, the judicial branch at the state level too about your judge. And also
Yeah,
for attorneys too, if you have a bad attorney.
yeah. Georgia Score, like the Score program, like the Score thing. It's a connection between the counties and the state, to where they can the state can keep observate like keep supposedly to keep up with these the reports of the abuse and neglect and see what the caseworkers are doing or whatnot. And
Okay.
it's also called there's a Shines. I think it's called Shines. That's another. It's a more out of date program that they use as well. But Georgia Score is where they do training and like they it's DFCS foster parents. It's kind of like all the mandated reporters, and that's where they go to, and that's where their go-to spot is. But that is where the state, that's what I was told, that the state, that's where their reporting is, and that's where the county CPS caseworkers are supposed to report it in through Georgia Score. So
Okay.
and
So
yeah,
anyway, those
because
are some of the topics that we talk
mm-hmm.
about. We talk about the ICPC, the interstate entity that
and,
helps with the transporting of children.
and I'm
We
sitting
talk
here
about ICWA,
looking at
Indian
this.
Child.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, well,
Go ahead.
on for Georgia, and this is the second time I brought this up, but I mean, it's even got a CPS history request form and instructions on here. So, like, this is the site that you can go to request any history or your file from CPS, like, or with
Oh,
the
really?
state. Yeah, that it says, yeah. I just and they just updated it 9/1/2019. So yeah. And then it talks about their screening process, everything, and the placements and everything. Yeah, evaluations, consent for release of information, and then it's got it's called an Adam Walsh check. It's the State of Child Abuse Registry, and that's at the very bottom.
Okay,
Yep.
we got the mother from West Hollywood, California,
Hey, Natalia.
Natalie.
Hmm.
Natalia. I keep pronouncing her name
You're good.
Natalia, and she had said the judge and social workers can file what? Oh, ICPC transfers. Yes. Okay.
Hmm.
And she says, hi, all. Hi back to
Hi.
you. Thank you very much for being there with us. I have a private chat number here. Okay.
It was Grace just telling me to stand by because I was
Oh,
yeah, 'cause I was letting you know I
doing
was
the phone
done.
call. Okay, great.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
tired and he's had a busy day.
Yeah, I can
So
understand that.
just yeah.
Okay. Well, we are live from California, and Danielle's from Georgia, and I'm from Southern California too. And I just told you pretty much how they interact in the room there. Now, I think I'm going to try to get those rules done with because there's three of them, and I seem to sometimes always forget them. And one of the most important rule, and this is where I want you, the picture to come up of the pink ladies. Now, what do you mean
Okay.
by pink ladies? For somebody that haven't heard or have heard, there were 8 social workers that worked in Arizona's Department of Child Services, DCS. And when I talk about CPS, I include all the acronyms of the children neglect and abuse and revocation. These 8 ladies, I know there's only 7. I can count, but there's only 7. I guess the picture was big enough to take the eighth
Yeah.
lady. Are very
They cut it
proudly
off.
wearing something they all thought they could come up with. They're from Prescott, Arizona. It was done in 2022. And on the front of the t shirts, if you zoom in a little bit, you'll see professional child kidnappers. Professional child kidnappers. And some of the ladies are facing backwards. And on the back, it says, parents, do you know where your children are? And it's implying that they are going around taking our children and proud about taking our children. You know, it's really sad. And these social workers went about in stores, and right away they were fired by the agency when word got out. The
Hmm.
director of this DCS was fired too. So I want you all to think a little bit about that. That's telling you a message that those social workers don't care about you as parents. They don't care about seniors. They don't care about elderly people. All they care about is money, greed. And that's what CPS has become. And I can attest to this because I know from firsthand experience, plus the people I've talked to around all the 50 states. There's been over 500 people I've talked to. And that's since October. And, a lot of people are following us and so forth on that. And so my rule number one is you need an attorney. You're probably saying, no, I can't get an attorney. I don't want an attorney or I can't afford an attorney. That's the 2 reasons why they don't get an attorney. Now, the reason why you need an attorney is you're doing the same kind of thing as if a doctor's doing open heart surgery. Dealing with CPS is like open heart surgery. It's very difficult, very tedious, and very complicated. And CPS, it's just like the story in Alice in Wonderland. Alice is playing in her garden, and all of a sudden, she falls in a rabbit hole, and now she's going through a series of doors that go nowhere. Find out places off with your head, some crazy stuff. So Allison's really been messed up. And that's what CPS is. It's a messed up organization. They don't do what they're supposed to. They will take your children. They use police. They enact a lot of things. So I'm telling you right now, you have to be careful. That's why I say it's important to have an attorney because an attorney will be able to represent you and get your children back. That's the whole goal. You want to get those children back. And you're probably saying, well, I want a court appointed attorney. That's the one they give you. Well, yeah, they do give you a court appointed attorney, But let me tell you about the court appointed attorney. He's nowhere near a family law lawyer. He's very new at it. Plus, you know, um, he won't hear you except the time of your hearing, and then it's too late. You don't want to show up at your hearing, and then the girl guy tries to talk to you in the hallway and then goes and does your case because he's going to side with the social workers attorneys. He's not going to fight for you. He's not doing it. That's a lot different than if I get you a fighter that can fight for your kids. Because that's what you are doing right now. You're fighting to have your kids keep in touch with you by having visits. Some are done with a not a chaperone, but what do you call it? Um, Someone else that sits in your visit. I
A
forgot the name of
monitor?
it.
A monitor?
No, it's. I'm trying to
Or
think of the right term.
I know what you're talking about, like to sit in the visits with you, like a supervised visit, and the supervised visit.
I think what I'm talking about.
A provider? No.
No. I'll have to come back to that. I just don't understand what I'm trying to describe. Boy, oh boy, the light is really weird how it comes through on my computer.
Is it a child access monitor or observer? No.
No.
A third party? No.
So, I keep telling you need this attorney. Now, if you can think of open heart surgery, would you have an auto mechanic fix it? Would you have a plumber fix it? No, you're not going to have a plumber or auto mechanic fix you. You're not going to have a lay person. You're going to get a professional doctor. And that's what you need to do here with CPS. You need a professional lawyer. And you probably say, well, again, those court-appointed attorneys are great. No, they're not. They won't fight for you. They're not going to spend much time with you. They won't meet you ahead of court. You only meet in the hearing, and you meet outside the room. And very rarely in California, you're allowed to be in that courtroom. If you represent yourself, you would be. No, not ambulance for CASA. I'm trying to think of the term.
Advocate.
What was I trying to describe in the first place? Maybe that would make
the supervised visit, like a person that monitors the visits when you're visiting your child. Is it a provider, an advocate, a third party, a FFA worker?
No. Anyway, I was trying to describe something, and I somehow have lost the thought on that.
Because I know they're starting a Lidoms, but they're like the attorney or yeah. What did they?
Not an FFA worker. I appreciate everybody trying to help me. I'll think of it soon. Anyway, we're talking about hiring an attorney and finding an attorney. And it's going to be an attorney at law that you're going to get. It's going to be a family lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And, you need to get one that is not a public defender.
Right.
Now, if you've heard about pro bono, that means something done with no charge. There are good pro bono attorneys that you can locate, but it's going to take you time.
Mm-hmm.
And what you need to do is word your words right on the internet. Now, here's a freebie advice. The more you're on the internet, the more you research things, the chances of you getting your kid back are great because you have to be a fighter and you have to be knowledgeable. Knowledge is how you're going to win your CPS case. Knowledge. Now, to find this family law, this pro bono family law attorney, what you do is you type in to the internet sign in as or Atlanta, Georgia, a pro bono family law attorney. That's all you have to say. And then hopefully 10 more names are going to show up. It's only 10, then you did your homework. You did it. And with those 10, 20 of them or 30 of them or five, you're going to pick 10 of them and call them. And while you're doing the call is to make sure they're still in business. Make sure they're still in business. When you call them and they answer, then you know they're in business.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you got to determine if they are pro bono, for real. You ask them, are you a pro bono attorney? And then the third question is, you have to ask them, are they a family lawyer? Are they a family lawyer attorney? Then after that, you're going to find out if they've had experience fighting CPS. So you ask them, have they fought CPS before? Then you ask them again, have they fought in dependency court? I know someone from Pennsylvania says there are family lawyers, you have to be a dependency lawyer. I never heard of that, but she from Pennsylvania insisted that there are dependency lawyers and family law lawyers. I thought they're all the same. It's just that the family court is the dependency court. So you're making these calls, you're finding it out. Also, you want to find out if they've fought CPS and have they gotten the kids back from CPS. If all these answers are yes, then you pretty much got somebody that you can talk to, especially the pro bono that won't cost you an arm and a leg. And so then you want to pick from that list of 10, 5 family law attorneys. And I want to use the place in that list of 5, Vincent W. Davis. He's been around fighting child cases for 35 years. So he knows how to fight. He's fought in a lot of states. He was in Oklahoma, I think, the week before last, in Northern California, and then Southern California. He's from Southern California. But you need to talk each of those 5, including Vincent Davis. Now, Vincent charges $60 for 30 minutes. $60 for 30 minutes. So keep that in mind, and that should help you there. A dependency lawyer, I think it's called a family law. Danielle, can you type in or Google what's the correct CPS attorney? A dependency attorney or family law attorney, are they all the same?
Okay.
After you have had a consultation with those 5 attorneys,
it's
then you're
saying
going to
a
pick
family law attorney.
What is a family law attorney
CPS.
the same as dependency?
Okay.
What you could word is, what area of law is a CPS attorney?
They said it's family law, but I will look. Let me look. Let me ask
dependency.
What is
People
the
are
difference?
a little confused. Dependency.
Well, you remember there's also
the type of
delinquency too. Are deprivation cases as well. There's dependency, deprivation, and delinquents in some courts in some states. They break it down that way too.
What is the kind of attorney? What's the kind of attorney that you look up?
A family law
deals with fighting CP, and I think it's family law.
It is family law, definitely family law.
And
That's
you're going to be
everything that,
working in dependency court. That's where you're going to go.
yes, because it'll still fall under family law, but it'll be like dependency court, or it'll be like, yeah, because they'll ask you what kind of case, or because you got cases that are also where they're a delinquent because they've been detained, and so it still falls under family law though.
Well, now we've talked about why you need an attorney, because CPS is a spider weaving a web around you, and they're going to suck you in. And I tried to fight CPS without attorney for a good year, and I wasted my time. I should have got an attorney. I knew that the court-appointed attorney was a waste of time, and changing them didn't help.
Dependency
and I went to the
cases
top dog. Go ahead.
It says dependency cases, formerly they're also known as deprivation cases, are intended to protect the child from abuse and neglect. That's what it means. And the difference between the two is not by much. It's family court. An attorney is a lawyer assigned by the judge to represent you in family court, in family or dependency court. So it's the same thing. It's all family law.
Yeah.
Any family kind of issues that involve family or children, it's family law.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So
now,
they take care of everything.
Natalie said dependency is for DCFS. Now, DCFS in California is CPS, Department of Children.
Yes.
Family Services. I think that's what DCF means, right?
DFC. Well, yeah, Department of Family and Children Services. It's the division of
DCFS is what
the Department of Child and Family Services. It's just the child and family mixed backward. Yeah, but it's still under. Yes, it falls under the family law area that they take care of the adoption, child custody, divorces that involve the children. They anything that involves I can't even say the word, familial relationships. This could include custody, adoption, foster care. That's what. Yeah.
Well, I think if you look for a family law attorney that can work in dependency court, I think that's all you have to identify. Now, Lee Mina, who's been on the show, I forgot where you're from, Lena, but welcome. She says, according to Mrs. G and Mr. Davis, family law is different from juvenile dependency. I think family law deals with young children and about parents. Juvenile dependency is about teenagers or young children that have trouble themselves they got themselves into. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So family law is the area of expertise. Vincent Davis is a family law attorney, and he works in dependency courts. So that's my rule number one. I've spent a lot of time taking my time talking about it because I haven't really talked that much, but you'd be so relieved. I wish I was. I went to the director of CPS and tried to fight them. And I met with him at the Taj Mahal of the building that looked like the Emerald City of Oz. And it was worthless. Everything I talked to him went in one ear, went out the other ear. They don't care. And they especially don't like people that tell them what to do. So this is going to lead me into my rule number 3. I'll talk about rule number 2 in a bit. But rule number 3 is you say no to social workers, no to police. You don't let them take your children. You don't let them in your home. And it's your constitutional rights. You have the educational and the medical rights to your children still. Those are not taken away. You got to be careful there. Now, now I got another scenario I want you to look at. There's a young man that had graduated from high school that went to join the Air Force. He's an airman. He's a listed man, but he's there to defend our country. He was in Gainesville, Florida, and he's in his own home. There's a picture of him. Nice looking man. You know, he's like his, I think he's 23 or 24. But I figured he got murdered. Now, how that happened was answering the door. And I don't know how many times I hear people say, well, I answer the door to talk to the social worker. No, you don't do that. You do not answer the door. And the reason being is that you could end up being killed. And this is how this guy got killed. He was at home alone. He's on FaceTime with his girlfriend. It was a weekend. So he wasn't working, so he wasn't in uniform. And apparently the sheriff's office got wind of a disturbance in his apartment complex. Now, the sheriff says it was not the wrong. They always say it wasn't the wrong address. But what had happened is that this man was talking to his girlfriend, and there was a knock on the door, kind of a scruffy knock, and no comments. The sheriff somehow didn't say anything the first time. And then when the sheriff knocked on the door the second time, that alerted him behind the door because he thought maybe it was some hooligans. He didn't know what they were. The second time, the sheriff did identify who he was, but it wasn't done in a very professional or kindness way. So what happened was he opens the door, and right away the sheriff fired 5 shots. Now, I don't understand. I thought sheriffs go through a lot more training, but I would really think that people, strange things happen behind doors. That guy could have had a gun pointed at the front door and blown away the sheriff. Now, the sheriff is supposedly highly trained, but if they're highly trained, why can he not shoot on the foot or his arm with one bullet? I mean, why do you have to fire 5 times? That's way. Now, if it was me, first of all, I would check the area and try to listen to sounds. If I heard nothing, then I could go to the side of the door and knock on the door and announce who I was. I'm your sheriff's department. I received a complaint about someone saying there's some type of domestic violence way. Need to talk to you. And then the sheriff said to, if you're behind that door, I want to lock the door, and I want you have a weapon to put it down, not near you, but close proximity to you, and to lay down with your hands on your head. And if you do that, then I don't think that guy would have been killed. But instead, the sheriff shot the guy 5 times. And I don't know why he had to be shot 5 times. So I'm telling you all that out there about the door situation. Don't open the door to strangers. You know that from a little kid. Don't open the door to let someone get in there. All you have to do if you hear knocking at the door is not say anything and go off to the other part of the house and rest. They'll know how to get a hold of you. They'll know how to get a hold of you.
Bob?
So there are, yeah, I'm just thinking right now.
Okay.
There are situations when you answer the door, you look through the peephole, but you got to be careful. If I was you, I go another part of the house and answer the door. If someone knows you, they have their phone number. They can call you. This lighting is becoming really a problem here. They can call you. And so, um, and as I say, the policeman could have asked the guy, unlock the door. If you have a weapon, put it down, not near you, but far enough away, and then put your hands behind your head. And then he would open the door slowly from the bottom, peer in, and see there's somebody there. And so he could have evaporated that person and not be killed.
My son's calling me.
Who's that?
My son's calling me.
All right, you can take a timeout. So, anyway, Danielle's going to talk to her son. She has a Zoom call. This is a son that she's trying to get back. And she really is really excited about getting her son back. So don't answer the door. And that goes true with a CPS worker or policeman. If they come to your door, they will not enter unless there's ongoing shooting or something else that's going bad. You ready to come back on, Danielle? Okay, I'll put you back. So, whoop. I guess you're still on the phone then. Okay. Grace is helping me out. I probably blew up there. Family court is about divorce, child support, child custody. I agree with you. That's what family court is. That's why I call it dependency court. Now, Lee says they said do not hire family law attorneys when fighting CPS, but a juvenile dependency attorney. Well, that's something new. A juvenile dependency attorney. Well, I appreciate you sharing me with that, Lee. I thought a family law attorney, but okay. A juvenile dependency attorney. Now, Natula, medical kidnapping. Don't talk to social workers in the hospital. Yes. There's a lot of medical kidnapping going on. And that's where you have a situation where the parents are trying to take care of their child and take them to a hospital late at night. And with that being said, when they're taken to a hospital late at night, you may be talking to a doctor that you don't know. The doctor may say, this is what's wrong with your child. You're allowed to get another doctor's opinion. You're also allowed to not get treatment there, but go elsewhere. But CPS workers work in the hospital will automatically take your child. They'll kidnap it. And they say, you refuse the doctor, then you're not taking care of your kids. And that's not true. Okay. Thank you, Lee. Thank you very, very much. So, when you have medical kidnapping, what's happened is the social worker who works at the hospital here that you refuse any treatment. That's not what you're saying. And they're going to try to take away your child. That's wrong. That's totally wrong. You're allowed to seek a second opinion and have your child treated elsewhere. So you got to be careful of that. Be careful of medical kidnapping. And so another form of medical kidnapping is when you just given birth and they take your baby because you either tested positive for drugs or your child has, or there's a prior history. It's wrong. They rush in with a policeman in the birthing room and take the child. That's wrong. You tell them to go sit in the lobby and the hospital staff work with them. So with that, being said, is that there's medical trafficking, and there is you know going in your home and inspecting your home, which you don't have to do, and there is um, John, the phone. Where is it? Your phone. Oh, I'll bring it to you. Okay. My phone on. Okay. Now, so if you give birth to a child, you should be able to nurse the child and bring him back. And um, they should not take your child. That's medical trafficking. That's against the law. So you don't let them in your home. You don't talk to them. You save your little yes, no answers. And then what you do is that you always hang on to your children. They need a court order, something called a warrant, that's signed by a judge with a wet signature that um, is signed, and it says very descriptive on it. This is a court order to remove your child. This is a court order to enter your home. Your name's got to be on it. The children's name's got to be on it. They got to have the allegations on it, and they got to have the address on it. Now we have about 10 minutes left of the show. So I welcome any of you that likes to call in. We still got 10 minutes left. And so that being said there, let me see here. Okay. For helping me. Now, naturally, what were you mentioned about the of judge? What do you mean of judge? I don't know what you meant by that phrase there. Naturally, I don't know what you mean. Now, the second rule I have is a rule about paperwork. The first. Okay. No, save me a seat, please. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Um, yes, Lee. Thank you very much. I won't risk that. That's for sure. Um, oh, yeah. The warrant has to have the stamp. You're right. There'll be a embossed stamp from the judge. So that's important to look at that. Now, rule number 2 is about paperwork. And you need to keep track of things. Like a fool, I didn't. So what you want to do is you get a binder, a 6-inch thick binder, 3-ring binder, stuff full of notebook paper, and put the paper in such a way that you can move through it, and then you have some subject tabs. And the subject tabs, you want to put your own subject matter. I'm so sorry. I'm reconnecting. Um, my son doesn't know. He thought I was using his laptop computer for a hotspot. Actually, I was using his phone. So he took the phone with him. So I have to use my phone. So that means we can't call in, but it's getting late to our show anyway. So I'm going to put that I can take text messages, but no phone calls there. Okay. Um, so anyway, we're talking about rule number 2, the paperwork, and you write down the incident, you write down the date, time, and the people that are involved with it. And with that being said, then you write the next line, the incident, and it may take you 2 lines, and then you're going to do the outcome. The outcome may not happen for a while, so you come back and fill it out. Then skip a couple lines, do the next incident, then the next incident, repeat it, so that you have the situation such that um, you have track of all the incidents. The next subject matter should be something called the um, cases, I mean, the programs you're taking, like the parenting classes, the anger management, the drug treatment, and so forth. You want to have that as your next group of stuff, and you want to keep track of it. So, any certificate that shows you're drug clean or you finished a class or a program, you want to put it in that tab there. So it's readily handily available. And so you want to organize the notebook so it works for you, because you can put a lot more tabs in there. You can put your court paperwork in there, hole punch it, and stick it in. It's very important that you go to the court clerk, to get all your paperwork, because there's stuff you probably haven't seen. And so it's really important to do that. Really, really important to do that. Um, let's see. No, I'm not off, Faye. I was trying to do a live podcast tonight. My son's getting a special award tonight. Is he's a senior, so I did my podcast early on at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we have right now about 5 minutes left of my podcast. And so, anyway, I was using my son's phone as a hotspot and keep my phone available so people could call in, but I had to switch to my phone for a hotspot. And so he took off with the phone, left his computer thinking that it was working through the computer, but that won't work. So anyway, I'm back on. So that's why I was there. So yes, I was on early. I had mentioned that at my morning show that be early, and I mentioned this past weekend, but apparently you missed it there. This coming Thursday, I'll be on early. My son has a prom to go to later in the evening. So I'll be
Hey.
on 5 o'clock Thursday. Oh, you're back, Daniel. Great.
Yeah,
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, I wasn't planning on. I didn't know he wanted to visit tonight, but that's fine. It's just I don't know what they were doing on that visit. That was weird, very weird. Like some dude came out from underneath the table where my son was sitting. Like,
wow. Well, you missed
somebody
it when
that works there.
Yeah, you missed it when my son walked off with my hotspot. So I had to use my phone as a hotspot. He thought he was leaving his computer that is working on his computer, but it's actually working off his phone, so I can have my phone to take phone calls.
Is that why it went out?
Yeah, that's why everybody lost me. And then Faye came on and she said, "You're on early." And I had mentioned I'd be on early tonight. And so I'm repeating again Thursday that I'll be on early at 5 o'clock on Thursday.
I also noticed that the times now that they're getting notifications, I don't know if it's still knocked off or what. Because the other night it said like 1 something in the morning, and I'm like, it was kind of so like the notifications when the live comes on. Have y'all been having trouble, Faye, getting the notifications for the lives? Because I didn't get the one today.
Yeah, are you guys getting notifications right when I come on at either 10 o'clock or 7 o'clock? Are you guys getting the notifications?
or the
For
Eastern
a
time
while, a
times.
lot of you are getting it like at 5 minutes
30.
left of my show.
And I noticed on the other day that the time was different on the notification time, but I'm wondering if, yes, I didn't even know you was on.
Yeah, hey Grace, if you hear us, can you try to find out about the notifications that they're going out when they're getting on like half an hour before showtime or something? Faye says she didn't get notification, and some people come in at last 5 minutes of the show. We suddenly get an influx of people.
Yeah, I haven't even
So
got
I
the
don't know.
notification for us right now. It says we're live, but
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's no way when I do a show earlier. I did talk about it on Saturday with Grace. We talked again. I reminded on Monday, but anyway,
I mean,
the
it said it
notification.
started 57 minutes ago, so it's about 10 minutes off, but that's understandable. That's cool. But it said it
Well, right
started
now I'm at the
57 minutes.
58-minute mark. I got
Yeah.
about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
And I'm going to end the show. And I'm going to end the show a little before the 6 o'clock because his award starts at 6 o'clock. I need to walk to the grotto there.
Okay.
But anyway, I want to thank you all for listening. I did cover the 3 rules finally, and I spent a lot of time on that. We definitely have to call the attorney the right way. We can't call him a family law attorney. Right now, Medina has said that we need to have what's called a juvenile dependency lawyer, a juvenile dependency lawyer, a juvenile dependency attorney, I should say. So when you try to locate your attorney, find in Athens and Atlanta a pro bono juvenile dependency attorney and see if that works better for you on that one in there. Now, I only use Athens and Atlanta, Georgia, because I was doing that as an example, but you use your own city. So I'm going to say good night. God bless. I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. So God bless y'all. Keep fighting for your kids. This is Bob Pace